Okay, so working on the next string, working on a groovy thing.
When you gig, does this guitar always go with you?
Well, you know, for a long time it didn't. And then I said, you know, that's an awful lot of money to be tied up sitting in the closet. So I started gigging it more and more. I have a 2001 Powerhouse, which is a made in Mexico guitar that has a similar, has the mid-range boost knob that I love so much. And I made a lot of money with that guitar. That's a guitar for streets for around $700-800. But I'm real comfortable. This is now my primary instrument. As I tell people who are looking at guitars, I say Stratocaster is the utility infielder of guitars. You can play just about any style of music on a Stratocaster that you want to. But it's not the best guitar for metal, and it's not the best guitar for jazz, and it's not the best guitar for country. But if you don't know what the gig is, and you're playing a pickup gig where you may have to play all of those styles, it is the best guitar for all of those styles. So it kind of gravitate. If I can only take one guitar, it will be my Strat. If I have time, inclination, and energy, I'll bring all 9 of them. That's not true. I've only got 7 electrics. I have a Telecaster, James Burton Standard, that I dearly love. My beloved middle daughter bought it for me when she had more money than I did. Now we're about tied up on that score. Part of the challenge is with these tuners in this light is I can't see where I'm going.
It's a threading the needle problem.
Well, I've got all this nice glare. So really, this is quite easy if you're not old and decrepit with bad vision. So it occurred to me that I've been poking in the back of the guitar and you've not been seeing it, so we readjust the angle. There's the 6 string holes here in the base of the bridge. And it's a little bit of a trick to slip it through there. But you want to make sure that ball is tight in there. And then we come over and it's pretty straight head. This particular bridge has the cast pieces, and yes, they sound different than the stamp frame ones. I know a lot of people like the sound of the stamp frame ones, but I like the consistency that the cast ones do. They seem to be a little bit more even on the trim, and so I like that. And this is again driving me crazy because I can't see the hole. Oh, there we go. No? There. Okay. So this will be the last string, and then we can talk about setting the trim levels. Clipping the end off. So I'm going to flip this around so we can get a shot of the edge of the bridge. And you can see there's a little gap here between the bridge plate and the body. And it should be a little bit more than a business card is the factory spec. So you can get a little bit more positive. This isn't there. So we're going to adjust that now. So I'm removing the black back plate. The 5-ply pseudo tortoiseshell, one of my favorites. Originally there was 6 holes here for restringing, but they just made it easier to do that. So we have these tension springs here. I run 5 to keep it pretty stiff. It makes it a little bit smoother. Doesn't hamper the range of pitch drop much. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen them slightly with these 2 screws here, which will cause the plate to come farther off. And I'm going to try and get a half tone out of it. That's kind of what I want to get. Almost there. And I think that's about right. But right now, the E string is in tune. Mostly. Right? Come on, stick with me here. Oh, there we go. So the high E is mostly in tune at the moment. Low E isn't. If I tune the low E,
What app is that for the folks at home?
this is the Planet Waves Pro Tune. So I've tuned the low E, and now the high E has gone flat. What I'm trying to demonstrate here is they're all interactive. So you can't just go through the guitar once and call it tuned when you have a floating tremolo. And that's the whole reason people went to the Floyd Roses, because they'd go through it one time and they'd play and go out and tune it. Must be my tremolo. No, they haven't learned how to tune the Stratocaster. So we're pretty close. I've got a much broader pitch bend going up. Now the other thing that's happened here is, oh my goodness, my strings, when I tap the first fret and the last fret, there is no relief. This neck is too flat. Too flat, you say? Yes, too flat. So I'm going to go in here and tweak it a little bit. I discovered this last night, but I was too tired to bother with it while playing. And now, if you can listen, you hear that tapping? That means I have just enough relief. And now I go back and I tune the guitar again. And again, so forth. The last step of this process is to check the intonation. Which raised left is good. So, pan up here, my smiling face, Jack Van Breen at Guitar Showcase in San Jose. Hope you learned something from blocking tuners. We didn't talk about a locking up, but it's the same kind of a thing. And floating trems, it's all good. What you need to do is go down and get out your favorite guitar and just play and have fun. Thank you very much.